Job at, like you said, dissecting plays, and he's usually in the right spot, but he's a guy that flies around the field.
That's Packers quarterback Jordan Love. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Any light rain will come to an end this evening. Cloudy tonight, low in the upper 30s. And mostly cloudy for tomorrow, high mid-40s. For the upcoming weekend, it stays dry and mostly cloudy. A high around 40 on Saturday, mid-40s for Sunday. It's 42 right now.
The wine cellar and craft beer spot in De Pere reminds you that as difficult as these times are for us here at home, it's far tougher for our troops overseas. Let's make their lives a little better by sending a care package. Visit sendacarepacagetoday.com for more information. This message is from the wine cellar and craft beer spot on Main Avenue in De Pere. Stop by and check out their huge selection of fine wines and craft beers. Everyone can find something to love.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Maggie Dawn.
I'm closing out my conference at which I'm speaking, so you've got another great guest host. You'll be joined by Matt Rothschild. He'll be in the chair.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right.
And now, a guy who likes to talk trash, but only when he's at the dump, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome to Nite Lite. Hello, Wisconsin. How are we doing tonight? What a glorious night. A Thursday, the last Thursday before the best Thursday, Thanksgiving. It's 1 week away, folks, and we are here to spread some of that Thanksgiving cheer, even though it's a little premature. Well, who's to say it's premature? We're going to have some Thanksgiving fun tonight. We'll give thanks through comedy and popcorn picks of the week and questions of the night. Like we do every night, we celebrate things that make us smile. Great to have you with me, regardless of where you are joining us from in this great state of Wisconsin. It was interesting. Last night, Jared Crooks was on the show, and it's weird to think, Conrad, that like part of Wisconsin are Minneapolis suburbs. Like he was here, and he's like, I'm in Hudson, Wisconsin, and I didn't know where that was at first, and I looked it up on the map. I'm like, he's basically in Minneapolis, but it's Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Crazy. So whatever pocket, corner you're joining us from, it is great to have you. We hope you join the show tonight by way of text or positive thoughts, or a smile wherever you are, whatever it is. We're going to talk about some fun stuff tonight. I have great guests joining me in the studio tonight. Both guests, and there are several guests, actually. Yao Asari is here to help us make our popcorn pick of the week. He comes to us from Gold Coast Candy right here in Northeast Wisconsin. And he is going to make a popcorn pick of the week. Tell us a little bit about his product. It sounds really interesting. It's not your Dots or Milk Duds, Conrad. This is like gourmet candy we're talking about here.
I like to hear that.
Yeah, me too. What if he came out and he said, well, we make gourmet Milk Duds?
They're gourmet. Maybe I'd give it another shot.
Yeah, that's true. It'd be worth a revisit. But yeah, we'll be here at 6:35 in studio. And then in the second hour, this is exciting. Nick Wallen is here from Comedy City in De Pere. And he is bringing with him, let me make sure I get the names right. I haven't met these guys yet. Scott Romat, is that how you say that, Conrad?
Sounds right to me.
Yeah, you have no idea.
I mean, it looks right.
It does look right. And Nicholas Hendel. So we'll have Nick, Scott, and another Nicholas. Two Nicks. That's trouble when it comes to improv comedy. I don't know if we can have, I don't know if that's ever been done in a studio at any given time. The two members of a sketch or improv group were both named Nick. Has it been done? You tell me. but it's happening here tonight on Nightlight. They're going to be in the studio. Nick Wallen is bringing Scott and Nicholas with him. They're going to actually perform. We'll do maybe some improv games. So get your suggestions ready, Conrad, and we'll talk a little bit about this gem that we have here in Northeast Wisconsin called Comedy City in De Pere. And they will be here performing, answering comedy questions, answering your texts, whatever it is. There's no rules to this. We do whatever we want. And that's a show right there. We're missing one thing, Conrad. Do you know what that is?
The question of the night.
Let's hear it, buddy.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question. Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Okay, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda.
Question.
Question.
Questions.
All right. It is National Guinness World Record Day. So our question of the night, given your talents, what Guinness World Record would you have a shot at? And I'm not saying you have a shot at any. I don't think I have any of that in me or the drive to go for a world record. But given what your talents are and how you know yourself, what Guinness World Record would you have a shot at? For me, I'll just go first. Procrastinating. I don't know what the Guinness Book of World Record is for procrastination, but I guarantee you I could do it. If I have a script hanging over my head, a deadline, whatever, if the mood catches me right, I am waiting until the last possible minute. And I will pull an all-nighter. Not all the time. Not if I'm feeling it. But if I'm not feeling it, oh, man, am I good at putting stuff off. That's what I would do. Conrad, do you have something?
I was thinking about this, and I think mine would be the most amount of curb scratches on a tire.
That's interesting. You know what? I know you're being funny, but like that, no, that probably wouldn't be an actual...
No,
you can write them. You can say, hey, do you have a record for this? I think they used to accept submissions.
What
does that mean? You're a bad parallel parker?
I could just, every time I'd park on the street, I just scratch my tire. And I don't do it anymore. But when I first got my car, the rims were fully black. And now they have a little silver tint to it.
Do you feel like when you were learning how to drive and your parents paid for the cars, you paid less attention to that kind of stuff?
I guess. I mean, the first car I had didn't have like special rims, so that I wasn't really worried about that.
Yeah.
But the first day, I went to work after I got my new car. I scratched it while doing a pizza delivery.
Oh man!
I told my boss about it, and he goes, "Here's a Sharpie. Go fill it in."
On your own car?
Yeah. He's just, I don't want to hear you complain about that anymore. We're too busy.
Listen, kid, here's how we do things around here. Some other records. Tallest man ever. Robert Wadlow from Illinois was 8 feet 11 inches tall. And he couldn't dunk. I have no idea if he could dunk. Probably could dunk. Fastest man in history, Usain Bolt, ran the 100 meters in 9.58 seconds at the 2009 World Championships in Berlin. So, all right, granted, none of us are going for tallest or fastest. There's most tattooed person. I've seen a lot of people around here that could maybe qualify for something like that. They've got a lot of tattoos. Longest hair on a living person. Living, I guess, being the key word there. Measured 8 feet, almost 8.5 feet of hair. First person to break the sound barrier in free fall. That's Felix Baumgartner. I don't even know what that means. First man on the moon, Neil Armstrong. You could be the first at something, too. Tell us what you think record you would have the best shot at of being in the Guinness Book of World Records, or even one you'd want to. First sub 4-minute mile. That was a big one. Roger Bannister. Now everybody could do it. You think you could run a sub 4-minute mile, Conrad?
No, definitely not.
I'm using hyperbole. But there's all kinds of different records. I remember the motorcycle twins were like the two guys that weighed the most together or something like that. I'm sure Eric from Lodi will correct me on that. I hope he does. It's fun to have an on-staff fact checker on your text line. But let us know, what Guinness Book of World Record do you think you actually might even have a shot at, or you'd want to take a shot at? 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC, or you can text us on the app. It's so easy. Just click next to the station you're listening on, and there's a little text icon, and you can let us know what you're thinking throughout the course of the show. Or on the stream. You can let us know on the stream. Conrad, how can people watch the radio?
Yeah, so on Facebook, we're on WISS, Nightlight with Peach Schwaba and WGBW. On YouTube, Civic Media or WGBW. And on Twitter, we are Civic Media and WGBW.
Here's a good one. On September 18th, 2013, see how they got there? It's clever. Irv Gordon, USA, clocked up his 3 millionth mile on his 1966 Volvo.
Wow.
And as of May 2014, he had driven 3,039,122 miles, never once had an oil change or changed the wipers. Do you believe that?
I don't believe... that's a great commercial for Volvo right there, though.
Sure is. I don't like the way you just glossed over my joke, but okay.
Well, I don't...
Tires. Never change the tires. That would be a better one. Those things, listen, some cars... I have a Toyota Land Cruiser. I'm going to put 500,000 miles on that car. But 3 million?
Yeah, that's wild.
That's insane. There's the tallest man. Longest time breath held voluntarily underwater. I would hope it'd be voluntarily.
Imagine like someone actually like torturing you, but then them counting like
the hitman.
This guy's really good.
Hey, this guy's got some talent. That's my bad hitman mafia voice. This guy held his breath. I don't believe this. The longest timed breath held voluntarily underwater for a male is 24 minutes and almost 38 seconds. How is that possible? And he was 56. And he surpassed the previous record by 34 seconds. I wonder if, like, when you're under there voluntarily, if you can see a clock, or if you don't even want to go there, if you just find like this Zen state, like you're floating in a womb or something and block everything out. My guess is they would give him some kind of nudge or something when he was getting close. But how, like, even Navy SEALs are supposed to be able to hold their breath for like 5 or 6 minutes or something like that. I thought that was nuts. 37 minutes. 24 minutes, I'm sorry. 24 minutes and 37 seconds. That's crazy. All right, so if you guys think you could potentially break a world record, or if there's one you think you'd be almost talented enough to take a run at, let us know what it is. 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. We will read your text on the radio. Here's another thing I thought. This made my day. This is not world record area, but I love when fast food places have like these rewards programs. And Jimmy John's, an establishment I frequent from time to time, wants me to be a freebie fanatic. When you buy an 8-inch sandwich or wrap after 2 p.m., you'll score free chips and a drink. Purchase this deal twice by December 4th, and you'll unlock the freebie fanatic badge. When did corporate America start treating us like kindergartners? I'm an adult. You'll unlock the freebie fanatic badge. Would anyone be proud of that?
Yeah, like it's like a golden star.
Yeah, but for a kindergartner.
Yeah.
Hello, girls. How we doing tonight? And I would show up and sort of push my chest out a little bit so they could see my freebie fanatic badge. Oh, I see we at Jimmy John's quite a bit. Yeah, I got that kind of money. I found that so insulting. Because I didn't have my car today. It was getting an oil change, so I ordered food from Jimmy John's. And this is the stuff that pops up. I almost was mad that I ordered. I'm like, treat me like an adult. I have money. I bought a sandwich. The transaction is done. I don't want to hitch my wagon to you in any way. You have a good or service that I paid for. Let's just part as friends. Oh, no. We want you to be a freebie fanatic.
Well, don't you want the free stuff?
Free dill pickle chips after 18 purchases?
Yeah.
Nah, not really. I don't want the responsibility of having to take care of that. Okay, we got a fun show. The Popcorn Pick of the Week is coming up at 6:35 with Yawa Sari. He is here from Gold Coast Candy in the studio. Coming up in just a few minutes, this is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Dynamite, sentimental freebie, flying with the best. Little guns outside from Woolworths, trying out his attitude on the cats, poppers on the car.
of Green Bay, WGBW, home for Matt Nair on Air.
The Todd Alba Show.
Zommers, are you a Netflix and chill guy?
Do you know what Netflix and chill means?
I thought it just meant watch something on Netflix together.
You say that's what you're going to do, but you're really having them over there for sex.
This is why nobody wants to come to my place anymore. I say, hey, you want to come over and have Netflix and chill? People keep saying, well, no, I don't think so. I'll take it back. And I just thought they were being rude.
I do have Netflix, though.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. The Dom Salvia Show.
Harvey Kaye, a professor emeritus of democracy at the University of Wisconsin, Green Bay. Harvey, I know you're the big FDR expert.
1934, he decided that the inequality and the wealth accumulated at the top was a threat not only to the American economy, but also to the American democratic spirit, American democratic life. The way
Sounds like history's repeating itself.
The Dom Salvia Show. Weekdays from 4 till 6 on the Civic Media Radio Network and on the Civic Media app.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do you do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a
If you're struggling with what to text in or what you think you might have a shot at when it comes to world records, Guinness Book of World Records, speed eating hot sauce. A speed eater inhaled a record-breaking amount of hot sauce in seconds. I don't really give you the information, though. Here's another one. Farthest distance milk squirted from the eye. That's a weird one. Tallest mohawk. Okay. 3 feet, 8 inches. It seems like that would be bigger.
You know, I think I'm going to try to go for that one.
The mohawk?
I'm going to let it grow out and do it.
I respect that. Go for the faux hawk. Or is it a flow hawk? I can't remember. That one's crazy. Speed eating hot sauce. Do you think you could do that one?
I mean, no, definitely. I'm wondering what hot sauce it was first.
Right, if it's like Frank's.
But, I mean, it doesn't even... And I mean...
You could drink that like it's Gatorade.
Are you kidding?
But if it's like ghost pepper hot sauce or something... Yeah, I don't know. But those are some suggestions. That's our question tonight, ladies and gentlemen. What record do you think you would have a shot at, given your talents, on National Guinness Book of World Records Day? That's what today is, and that is our question of the night. Sherry from Horicon says, good evening, Pete and Conrad. Good evening, Sherry. Great to talk to you tonight. She says, longest hug. Can you hear the collective aw from all of the Nightlight listeners?
It's like a warm blanket.
It is. Sherry is our warm blanket listener. That's a great one, Sherry. Longest hug. The question, Sherry, is who are you hugging? Because that would affect, I would assume, how long you want the hug to last. If it's like one of your kids or a lover, maybe you want the hug to last longer. If it's like a coworker, I don't think you're breaking that record. Or just some creepy guy in the neighborhood. Chris from Janesville says, my wife and I had 2 cats that were sisters. Help me, Conrad. Polydactyls. 28 toes each? That's got to be a record, Chris. Polydactyls. I'm going to assume that's how you say it. 28 toes each. That has to be a record. Maybe you could monetize that, Chris. Definitely worth a check out. Carmela in Milwaukee says, Pete, the Schwaba. I'm usually doing gig work driving deliveries and cannot call or text you. I just wanted to say I'm always sending positive thoughts and good vibes your way. Well, thank you, Carmela. Turnaround is fair play. You are always making me smile and just feel good about what you are talking about or interviewing, especially after the last couple of weeks. I've needed a reprieve from life and politics. You fit the bill and just take me away to fun, silliness, and a reprieve from day-to-day life. Thank you, Carmela from Milwaukee. Guess what, Sherry? If Carmela was here, I would give her a world record hug. That's a very sweet text. Thank you very much, Carmela. It wouldn't be as fun to do this without listeners. So thank you for listening, and text whenever you can. That was very nice. Thank you. Sherry says everyone. She would hug everyone. All right. Conrad, stretch out. Sherry's going to give you a hug. She's going to break a record here. That's great stuff. Always fun to hear from the Nightlight listeners. You can text on the stream as well, folks. Always more fun when you guys are part of the show. You are welcome to chime in, too. During the Popcorn Pick of the Week, when Yao is here, Yao will make his pick, and then you guys can share your picks as well. Like, what are you going to watch? This is a big weekend. It's the Glicked weekend. Gladiator 2 comes out. Wicked. Moana 2 comes out a week from tonight, or a week from yesterday, actually. So there are going to be some big box office numbers this upcoming week. So you guys can chime in with what you plan on watching, or what are you going to do? You're going to stay at home and watch It's a Wonderful Life? That's a great one for Thanksgiving. That might be, I know that's like a Christmas movie, but I almost equate that more with Thanksgiving. I think probably just because that's when we watched it. Chris from Janesville says, sadly, Jasmine and Esmeralda are gone. Oh, it's too bad, Chris. I'm sorry to hear that. But that's 28 toes. That's impressive. I've only got like 14.
I'm just like trying to picture it in my head. You know what I mean?
28 toes?
With cat toes.
That's a lot of declawing.
Yes,
that
is.
Those drapes in that house must look like crap. So, all right, we've got... what do we have? So I did the freebie thing. That drove me crazy. The freebie fanatic. I don't need to be. What if out there, it's funny, like I'm on a rant because I can come across as jaded sometimes, or I don't like to feel like I'm a pawn. And people are like, hey, become a freebie fanatic. That's like for a kid. We're adults. And there was when I was working the road, when I did stand up, a comic named Vince Morano, who's been on this show, I went to Wendy's with Vince and he was ordering his drink. And at Wendy's, at least back in the 90s, they called a large drink a biggie. And he'd say, and I'll have a large Coke. And the girl kept saying, biggie? And he goes, it's just large. Biggie? Like she kept making him say it. And he says, listen, I'm not saying biggie to another adult. And that's what I feel like this Jimmy John's thing is. I don't need to be a freebie fanatic. That's okay. One more thing, Conrad, what did we decide about parades? Yes or no yesterday? I'm going to be in the Green Bay Christmas parade.
Yeah.
You're not going to be there, though.
No, I have Thanksgiving.
Okay. You have Thanksgiving this Saturday.
Yes.
5 days before the actual holiday.
I'm going to be gone. I got to see the other side of the family.
How many branches of your family are there that you need to start on Saturday?
Let's see. There's the Johnsons on one side.
Okay.
There's just so many.
Are you really part Johnson?
No, I'm just...
That'd be cool.
I was just going to throw out random names, but I blanked.
Good thing the improv guys are here tonight. They'll give us a little lesson, and that'll be fun. And also, folks, chime in when Nick and the guys are here from Comedy City. You can text in. I think we'll try to do it that way. If they're cool with that, I would love to have you guys text in something they can do, a scene or something. It could be really fun. So in the meantime, when you buy an 8-inch sandwich... I cannot believe how stupid I felt reading that. It popped up on my app.
Yeah, because I have the same app. You know, I love Jimmy John's. I think they have some of the best subs.
It's fine.
But I see that same thing every time.
So that's been going on a while?
I mean, they've been throwing their app, their reward system for the longest time. Like, there was a while where they'd ask for my phone number every time.
Do you ever give it?
No.
I
have a rewards account. I just don't give it to them.
So you are a freebie fanatic.
Well, it was my old phone number, so I don't have it anymore.
All right.
That's why I don't.
I'm not judging. But there's people out there listening probably going, boy, that's a pretty good deal. I gotta get in on that, and I'm slamming them. And I don't mean to. Hey, free is free. If it's free, it's me. All right, so we got a really fun show. Nick Wallen and Comedy City from De Pere will be here. Scott and Nick are going to join him in studio. They're going to perform. It's going to be great. And Yawasari from Gold Coast Candy is coming up next to make the popcorn pick of the week. You picked a great night to be here, folks, and it's great to have you. This is Nite Light with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From those foes, we learn more from a 3-minute record than we ever learned in school. Turn out to hear the neighborhood drum a sound and feel my heart begin to pound. So you're tired.
Start to Bay Settlement, 97.9 WGBW. Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Today's the Great American Smokeout, held on the third Thursday of November each year. Joanne Krulatz reports.
Although cigarette smoking rates have been declining, cigarette smoking remains the most preventable cause of serious illness and death. Smoking and exposure to secondhand smoke cause more than 480,000 deaths in the U.S. every year. Smoking cigarettes increases the risk of at least 12 different cancers. In the U.S., cigarette smoking causes about 3 of every 10 cancer deaths. This number is higher in parts of the South and Appalachia. Some groups of people smoke more heavily or at higher rates. These populations tend to be those who face barriers to care and inequities in multiple areas of their lives, including people at lower socioeconomic levels, those without college degrees, American Indians and Alaska Natives, African American and Black communities, LGBTQ plus communities, people serving in the military, and people with mental health conditions. Quitting smoking isn't easy. It takes time and a plan. Success may look different for different people. There are many ways to quit smoking, and some work better than others. To have the best chance of quitting and remaining smoke-free, you need to know what you're up against, what your options are, and where to go for help. The American Cancer Society can help you access the resources and support you need to quit. You don't have to stop smoking in one day. Start with the day one. The Great American Smokeout can be your day to start your journey toward a smoke-free life. You'll be joining thousands of people who smoke across the country in taking an important step toward a healthier life and reducing your cancer risk. From the Civic Media News Desk, I'm Joanne Krulatz.
I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Denzel Washington told Esquire magazine recently he was bitter when he did not win the Oscar for Best Actor for The Hurricane in 2000. The Oscar went to Kevin Spacey for his performance in American Beauty. Washington said at that point he stopped caring and started having his wife cast his vote for the Academy. Washington won his first Best Actor Oscar 2 years later for Training Day. Washington has 4 more nominations since then, and there's a buzz he'll be nominated in the Best Supporting category for Gladiator 2. Elizabeth Olsen is returning to the MCU. Olsen, whose character is Scarlet Witch, will play a derivation of the role in the upcoming series Marvel Zombies. Good God, seriously? Marvel Zombies will actually be a spin-off of the Disney series What If, in which Olsen voiced Scarlet Witch before transforming into Zombie Scarlet Witch. If you're looking for an excuse not to watch, you've got time. Marvel Zombies drops in October 2025. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nite Light with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This is your hometown radio, refreshed, keeping you informed, entertained, and connected locally across the Civic Media Network.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Any light rain will come to an end this evening. Cloudy tonight, low in the upper 30s. And mostly cloudy for tomorrow, high mid-40s. For the upcoming weekend, it stays dry and mostly cloudy. A high around 40 on Saturday, mid-40s for Sunday. It's 42 right now.
Max Inc. on Civic Media with Mike and Wendy from Sunspot.
Can you imagine the mosh pit on the bridge that could happen?
Oh, well, that's how the original series was when they moved the camera. Whenever it's like the red alert,
right? Yeah,
that was the mosh pit.
Yeah. And everybody had to like fake like
right. Lean left, lean right.
Yeah. Join us for all the fun with Max Inc. on Saturday nights, 6 to midnight across the Civic Media Radio Network and on the Civic Media app.
The Todd Alba Show.
If you haven't tried mindfulness techniques before, the idea is to take a minute, focus on the present, not the past, not the future. Be here now. You can do it in your car.
Please not while you're driving.
I would say preferably not driving. Just take a moment and close your eyes and just breathe. Focus like on the breath coming into your body and out.
The Todd Alba Show, weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. John Mino and Jim Schmidt.
On Friday's show, we'll check in with the
It's time for the Nite Popcorn Pick of the Week, where we recommend a movie that you'll either enjoy or won't. Here's your host, Pete Schwaba.
There's no pressure when you say it like that. You'll either like what we recommend or you won't. So you can't sue us, folks. Don't even think about bringing legal action against Nite for our Popcorn Pick of the Week. It is our Popcorn Pick of the Week, and joining me in the studio now from Gold Coast Candy. Sounds like a great name for a candy company and something you would eat when you watch movies or TV. Yao Asari, one of the co-founders, is here. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank
All
you
right.
for being in studio. We've been doing this segment probably for like 3 months, and we've only had like 2 or 3 people actually in the studio to do this.
All right.
So I appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
All right. So tell us first, Yao, about Gold Coast Candy.
So Gold Coast Candy was the culmination of me trying to put African snacks on the map here in the U.S.
African snacks. Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
So
cool.
African-inspired snacks, right? So idea behind that was took a look at the American foodscape, and it's full of foods from you got Asia, Europe, South and Central America that have become really popularized, right? You
Right.
can go to any big city, any major city, or even small cities, and find a Chinese restaurant there, or you can find a Mexican restaurant there, or whatever it is, right? But you really don't see any like African food out there that's been put out there for people to really go ahead and try, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to do. I mean, it's happening a little bit more right now. There's some folks who are definitely putting that out there, but it's still like not as popular as as you would like it to be. So that's where that came about.
So this is your baby. Like that's so cool. You're so right too, because we have like where I live in Marinette, there's like 11,000 people, and we're getting our 3rd Mexican restaurant.
There you go.
I don't even know how even to survive. You know, when I was in high school there were no Mexican restaurants. So when the first one opened, I'm like, yes.
That's
and we
right.
got a Chinese buffet, and I'm like, fantastic. Now I can't believe as many of them exist as they do. But you're saying they're popping up. Other African style candy stores are popping up in the area?
Not so much candy stores, but I mean, there's various folks doing various things, right? There are some people who are putting out restaurants. I mean, not necessarily around here. I mean, I have a friend actually who the Golden Spoon. Shout out to Anand. She is actually putting out some African dishes. She actually does it at the farmers market here in Green Bay.
Nice.
Yep. And she also does catering as well. So it's beginning to take place, but it's still not like as out there as out there as other foods, right?
Other ethnic food.
Foods, yeah, exactly.
What is your favorite dish that you equate with like African food?
Well, so my favorite dish is actually, I mean, obviously from stuff from back home, right? Peanut butter soup. And a starchy food called fufu, F-U-F-U. And it's actually made with plantain and cassava pounded together, and then get into a nice starchy ball, and you throw it in your soup, either chicken, beef, goat meat, whatever.
Wow.
And you go to town. Yeah. So that's,
Go
go to town on it. Yep, exactly.
It sounds like the most delicious dumpling I've ever heard of.
Yep.
All right, so you obviously, I hear it in an accent. You're from Africa before you came to Appleton? Tell us about your background.
Yeah, I'm originally from Ghana in West Africa.
Nice.
Yep. Came to the U.S. in '92, went to Lawrence University, stuck around, I guess. I mean, met my wife, got married, and I've got 3 kids, all that kind of stuff. So I'm in the fabric of the society right now. If you want to put it that way.
You've become American as they come.
If you want to put it that way, yes.
So you came to Appleton and you liked it from Ghana, and then do you go back often to Ghana?
As a matter of fact, I went back home in May. And then, I took one of my kids January of last year.
That was my next question.
Mm-hmm.
What do your kids think? Have they been there much? And what do they think when all they know is Appleton, aside from what you tell them probably, and then you take them back there? What is that like for them?
Well, so 2 youngest have been there, right? So I took my youngest there last year, and she had an interesting time. I mean, she was stuck with me, so there really wasn't much to do. She did there wasn't a lot of like teenagers that she could hang out with and go do stuff with. So she had kind of a mixed review of it. But my middle daughter, she went by herself. She actually went to a class in Senegal, I do believe, and that's a few hours away from Ghana. And so she went to her class, did that for about a couple weeks, and then went to Ghana and hung out with her grandparents for about a week, and then came back. Yeah, so I mean, she had a better time because she was able to just kind of plan things out and just do what she wanted to do. So she was able to get out there and see a lot of stuff.
So how do you feel about, like, are you homesick? If you didn't come over here till you were 18 or around there,
yeah, 18, 19,
you had a lot of childhood memories. Do you miss Africa, or do you miss it and you're like, but this is still where I want to be? Or are you like, sometimes you wish you never left? Like, where are you at with the whole thing? That's a big move.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a big move, but I mean, again, like I said, this is my home for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
I'm settled here and all that, but you know what? Nice thing about being able to go ahead and just take a flight and just go back whenever you need to.
Yeah.
And go ahead and do that. So, I mean, yep, and I still have friends there. And so I'm trying to make it once every year or once every couple of years to go back and just go hang out and sort of like relax and just forget about troubles and work and all that kind of stuff and just just go do my thing over there. So, yeah.
So where is your wife a Wisconsinite? Where is she from?
She's actually from Brownsville.
Where's that?
It's I was. Well,
you don't even know, do you?
Yeah, but population 400, right?
Ooh,
and
wow.
It's near the southern part of the state, I would say. I mean, heading towards Milwaukee.
Sounds like you get back to Ghana more often than you go to Brownsville.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I don't think she doesn't have any relatives in Brownsville.
Oh,
anymore.
okay.
Yep. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yep.
All right. So tell us, what made you say, I want to get into the candy racket?
Okay. So the candy racket thing, again, like I said, I wanted to go ahead and popularize like something, some type of food from Africa, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, why don't you go ahead and start off with your favorite childhood snack? So I was like, all right. So the peanut brittle, which once again I neglected to go and bring a sample for people to go ahead and try.
Thanks a lot, Yao.
I'll have to drop it off sometime. But so I started out with that, and I was like, yeah, the peanut brittle was my is what I started out with, right? And,
Okay.
Started out with a bag of about with 300 bags. Sold it to family and friends and all that kind of stuff. And in about 2020, my partner joined the company. I'd actually been talking to him about a whole bunch of different business ideas and all that kind of stuff. And he was like, "Why don't you go ahead and put out African food or food from Ghana or whatever it is? Because you guys have great food, but you really don't put it out there for people to try." And so I was like, "All right, you know what? Why don't we go ahead and do that?" So. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to do. I mean, so it just started out that way. It's like, all right, I'm putting out my favorite childhood snack, put it out there, and then as he and I grew the company, we acquired Sweet Pea's Pantry, which was the person who was actually making the brittle for me as sort of like a white label thing. I would go out there and go sell it. She wanted to retire, and we were like, if she retires, who's going to make this brittle for us?
Right.
So we had to come up with a means to go ahead and purchase the company, which we did. And so now we have Shari's Ghana style brittle and also a Sweet Pea's Pantry, which has a bunch of other confectionery products. You have everything from orange peels. Shout out to Orson, he loves them.
I like orange peel, the little slices with the sugar on them.
Yeah, with the sugar. We have them in sticks, but yes, orange peels, and then we dip them in chocolate. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Okay.
dark and milk chocolate. Everything from that to candied pecans, and then also toffees, and then sponge candy, clusters, all type.
Wow.
You name it, we got it in there.
So
yeah.
it says Ghana style brittle. How is that different than brittle you'd get elsewhere? What is that style? What makes it unique?
So it's a very different recipe, right? So there's two types that we have, and we have the whole nut, and we also have what we call smooth. I like the smooth one where you pretty much chop up the nuts really fine.
Okay.
And then what you do is you encase the whole thing in caramelized cane sugar.
Ooh.
Right? So unlike your traditional brittle, we don't use corn syrup, baking soda, or butter. right?
It's all
so what it does
natural.
is that it's all natural.
Yeah.
It makes it just a lot easier to bite into. It's also a lot less sticky, and that's actually what really did it for people. And I was actually kind of surprised because I thought, yeah, it's a great tasting product. Everybody was like, it doesn't stick to my teeth. It doesn't stick to my teeth. I was like, well, you know what? If that's what's doing it for you, absolutely fantastic. So so then we came up with the tagline for it's the not too sweet, nutty treat that doesn't stick to your teeth.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's kind of a mouthful, but yeah.
You know, when I first read that it doesn't stick to your teeth, I thought maybe it was like some kind of synthetic.
Oh,
and it's just the opposite. Like, remember, I don't know if you ever watched the show Friends. When Monica was hired Conrad, remember the mocklet episode?
Oh, yeah.
She was given the task of creating mocklet and imitation chocolate.
Okay.
It was like burning her mouth.
Oh, yeah.
But this is all natural,
Yeah, it's
and
all
that's
natural,
why
yeah.
it doesn't stick. That's
Yes,
so
yeah.
cool.
Exactly, because if you notice, I mean, sugar has more of a tendency to dissolve in your mouth versus the corn syrup, which is more sticky tacky.
Right.
Right. So that's where you have the stickiness coming from, and you're having picking your teeth consistently and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But yes, it's it's all natural, and it's also vegan and gluten free. So for anybody who's interested in that aspect of things.
That is the voice of Yao Asari. He is one of the founders of Gold Coast Candy, and he is here helping us make our popcorn pick of the week. Do you have what candy do you guys sell that would be the best snack to watch a movie with? If you had to pick.
If you have to pick, all right. I would say there's actually two of them. The brittle for sure, and then our candied pecans.
Candy pecans are like hard to stop eating.
Yes,
those are like you could just eat those by the
exactly.
pounds.
And we have a very deliberately crazy kind of flavors. We have a rosemary salt and pepper.
Ooh.
Yes. Spiced orange.
Nice.
Yes, and then a margarita flavor as well.
Does it have alcohol in it?
No, it does not. But it does have the kind of like the limey kind of taste to it. Yep. Exactly.
We left some Altoids there for you. I don't know if that does anything for
Mints!
you.
There you go.
Candy game. So I don't know. You're probably like,
yes,
no, I'm not.
exactly. And then with the brittles, we have a peanut, of course, but we also have a pistachio, which we call the adventure in your mouth, and then also the cashew, which we refer to as the smoothest brittle that you'll ever have.
Really?
Yes.
All right. So where do people? Do you have a store, or is it all an online business? Where can people get this? These products?
What's great about being around here in the Fox Cities is that you can get it at in Appleton, obviously where I live, you can get it at the free market. You can get it actually at Festival. We just got
nice.
got them into Festival Food.
Great store.
Yep. And then what do you call it? Where else do we have them? You know what? The best thing is to go to our website. Because
okay. Tell us the website.
Yeah. So the website is www.sharaysgsb.
Easy to remember.
.com.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
So sharaysgsb.com.
So sharaysgsb.com.
You can order it over the.
You can order it online, yes. But if you wanted to find a place to buy it physically, if you go to our locations page, you can find everywhere where it's at.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's great. All right.
Yep.
Are you ready to make your pick?
I'm ready to make
my
pick.
All right, Conrad, if you please. Yao Asari from Gold Coast Candy, live in studio to make his popcorn pick of the week, which is?
Popcorn pick of the week. I'm trying to think here.
How long have you been booked on this show?
Oh, I have no clue. All right. So are we talking about a movie?
Yeah.
I like Marvel's Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Oh, what? Somebody just said that movie recently.
I can't remember who said but that's such a great movie.
Tough to go wrong with that. You like all the Marvel movies?
I like all the Marvel movies. Yep. Orson and I actually we bond over Marvel movies.
Okay.
Yep. So we've actually seen quite a few of them. So yeah, that's great. But out of all the Captain America movies, that's the one I like the most.
Do your kids like Marvel? No. So it's just you.
No,
just
they
you
don't.
watching.
Yeah. Neither my wife or my kids like Marvel. No.
That's all right. That's your escape then when you want to watch a movie.
Exactly.
Yao Asari is here in the studio from Gold Coast Candy. We're talking movies and we're talking candy, and we'll have a few more minutes with Yao when we come back. This is Night Light with Pete Schwaba. The popcorn pick of the week, ladies and gentlemen, is...
Yao. What was that again? Sorry. You got me. You got me there.
I know it's Winter Soldier. Captain America Winter Soldier.
Yes, Captain America Winter Soldier.
That is the popcorn pick of the week. We'll be right back with more Night Light on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home of Mino and the Mayor.
The Todd Alba Show.
Tracy Olson, senior advisor at the Lincoln Project.
We as individuals need to be far better in terms of getting the tools we need to have the conversations. You're never going to shame someone out of their political beliefs.
Yes.
You're never going
Yes.
to get
Yes.
them with talking points.
You nailed it. And I think that's what some of our friends on the left don't get. And I think it's destructive and it's not beneficial.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. Matt Nair on air.
And we are here with Matt Randolph, Mr. Global. Donald Trump now will be coming in for a second term. There has been talk of removing sanctions from Russia. What would that mean, Matt, for the oil and gas industry?
So it depends on what Russia does, but we've seen nothing to suggest that they want to have anything to do with lowering oil prices.
And so the prices are essentially going to stay the same.
In all likelihood, yes.
Matt Nair on air. Weekdays 10 till noon on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
We've all felt left out. And for people who move to this country, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple,
Joe from the 715 agrees with Yao. Captain America Winter Soldier is the best Marvel movie. Great pick. Wow, there you go.
Sweet.
That's I did see it a long time ago. I'll have to check it out again though. Conrad, you like that? Was that one of your faves?
Yeah, it's definitely one. I like the what is it?
It was one right before that, right?
The one where they have like a war between the Avengers. I can't remember. I think it's just called Civil War.
Yeah, Civil War. Yeah,
Civil War.
Yep,
That one's
right.
my favorite, and then Winter Soldier.
I can't keep the Marvel films straight. Like it's like with Star Wars. They all run together for me, and I probably need to just.
Yeah, they need to make some improvements though, because the last few have been kind of
Really
so-ish. Yep.
There's a new show coming out called Marvel Zombie.
Yeah, I heard that. Yep.
What's your take on that? It just seemed kind of. When I was reading about it, I was like, are they out of ideas? Like, what the?
Well, I guess we'll find out. I think
Yeah.
we actually had an episode of What If. Marvel's What If, and that has some zombies. So I think it's sort of a
and that was
of that, right?
Elizabeth Olsen.
Yep.
Is right. Yeah, we just did that, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so during the break, we were talking about. You said you're watching Cross, the
Correct.
Tyler Perry show. It's a new one, Alex Cross, and it's a thriller.
Yes.
And you like it?
Yeah. So so far, I think I've watched episode 1. His wife gets killed, and yep, and so he's kind of off the deep end a little bit, and he's involved in a mystery right now that he's trying to solve, and I think it's going to make for some interesting TV for me. Yep.
The ads look great. I sometimes. Like, I'm kind of down the middle on Tyler Perry stuff, but I saw that and I was like, whoa. So that's on my list.
Yeah. So, so I think the person who actually plays Cross is Aldous Hodge. And he was on...
He's great.
Yeah, he was on... what was that show called again?
With Kevin Bacon.
Not
Boston... Was it the one shot in Boston?
Oh no, it's was it not? Oh man, Leverage. He was on Leverage.
Oh, I didn't see Leverage. Okay,
yeah, it was on Leverage. That's where I first saw him. Yeah, but
I just saw him on something where they break out of. God, what is he? And he was in that show with Kevin Bacon, something Beacon Hill or something like that. Conrad, help us with the Googles. Googles. You hear what I said? It's not even the Google anymore. It's the Googles.
Yep. Plural.
He's in a couple Justice League movies too, but he was in Green Lantern. Yep. God, this guy's all over the place. Yep. But now he's like the star. He's usually like the second banana or plays the heavy because he's like this crazy muscular guy. Jack Reacher. That's what he was in. He was great in that. He played a soldier in that.
All right.
And he's in a show with Kevin
Bacon.
City on a Hill. That's it. Kevin Bacon. That's a good show.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's really good.
Yes, he wasn't City on a Hill. I remember that. Yes, that was a good show.
There's a scene where he takes his eye out in that show, and I was like, it was either some crazy special effect or he has a glass eye. And finally, he's able to capitalize on it in a role. You know, it was crazy. But you said you also were watching Slow Horses.
Yes, Slow Horses. Yes,
you like that?
I do.
I do too.
Yeah, like I said, my first season was slow, but second, third, and fourth season I've actually really picked up. And yes, Gary Oldman.
All right, for those of you listening, Gary Oldman in Slow Horses plays the leader of this kind of ragtag, disgraced MI5 agents. They occupy this place called Slough House.
Yep.
And they're not really respected. They're kind of the screw-ups, and he's the leader, and he looks basically like a homeless person. He's got, and I don't mean any disrespect to homeless people, because Gary Oldman he's got like this greasy hair, and his clothes are bad, and he just walks around farting, and he's a grotesque character, but he's so good, and he's so funny. He's such a great actor. I highly recommend Slow Horses. We talked about that quite a bit lately. And Day of the Jackal is on my list too. Are you watching anything else?
I'm actually I just finished up Walking Dead.
Oh,
yes, because I kept current with it up until season 8, and then I was like, all right, I got to hop off this train because it was getting a little bit long for me. But then all of a sudden I was like, probably about a couple months ago, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to finish this up. So I just did, and actually the reason why was because I wanted to catch up on some of the spin-offs as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Daryl Dixon, that's a spin-off of that right now, and that's he's in France, prancing around there.
I don't know. He's was the first episode was him on a boat, washing ashore, and I don't know. I never watched I think 10 seasons of The Walking Dead. I did
11,
not
actually,
see. Okay, I didn't see the second season, the second half of the last season.
Got it.
So I don't know what happened or how he ended up on a boat, but
it doesn't really.
They don't say?
They don't really say. So he just ends up on that boat. And I think what may end up happening is that they may sort of start backtracking on that to find out what happened. Yeah. So, and I think even his, I think in the second season, you'll probably see more about that.
He ends up, I watched like the first 2 episodes of that. He ends up like in a convent or something. And then I saw part of Negan and Maggie were in the New York City, I think, or something.
Yeah, they've got their own spin-off as well. It's not on Netflix yet, so I'm waiting for that.
Same.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're bad, but it's kind of like it's nice to know those shows are on if you ever need something to watch and you know it's not going to be bad.
Yep.
But it's kind of like I'm with you. Like after Rick died on The Walking Dead, I was kind of like limping along with it, and then I'm like, I should go back and finish it though. But I don't know. Oh, great suggestions, man. This is fun. So, all right, next time you come in, I would love to try some brittle.
Yes.
We'll pay you for it.
No, don't worry about that.
Conrad, you up for some brittle?
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't stick to your teeth.
Yeah,
like milk duds. He hates milk duds.
Yeah,
he hates milk duds.
With a rich nut flavor to it.
Okay, that's healthy. I love that. And the real sugar, you can't beat it. All right, this has been fun. Yawasari, check out Gold Coast Candy. The website is www.sharay.sgsb.com or just Google. Probably.
Yeah, exactly. And you can also go
Candy.
to sweetpeaspantry.com as well for the confectionery stuff if you want. And that's SWEETPSPANTRY.
Fantastic.
All right.
Thank you, buddy. Great to have you here. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah,
all right.
Absolutely.
That's Yawasari. Check out Gold Coast Candy. We'll be right back with more Nightlight and the guys from Comedy City coming up soon. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This is get it, have it. Can you hear the bass? Boom, I'm ready. Woo, woo. Levies, chitlins, honey. Yeah, this bitch ching like money.
Denmark to De Pere. This is 97.9 WGBW. Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
Coming up on the show, Dan Schaefer will be here from the recombobulation area, also Civic Media's political editor, and as always, we'll wrap it up with This Shouldn't Be a Thing. Don't miss it.
Matnair on air, weekday mornings at 10.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram. This is 97.9 WGBW Denmark, Green Bay's real news and great conversation, a Civic Media radio station.
ABC News, I'm Richard Cantu. Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi stands to become the next U.S. Attorney General. President-elect Trump nominating Bondi after Matt Gaetz dropped out Thursday.
Gaetz did phone the president-elect late this morning, obviously informing him of his decision. But, of course, informing him of the decision came as Trump behind the scenes grew quite frustrated with what he continued to learn from this new public reporting about Gaetz. So in Trump's statement, he says that Gaetz didn't want to be a distraction for the administration. He says he wishes him well.
ABC's Catherine Falders. Federal police in Brazil indicted former President Jair Bolsonaro for allegedly attempting a coup after he was booted out of office in 2022. A year-long federal investigation has determined Trenton, New Jersey police have shown a pattern of misconduct and makes more than 24 recommendations for remedial action. This is ABC News.
Trying to find a place to stay in Green Bay for the big draft? Go to simpleliferentals.com. Vacation rentals made simple. Our dedicated team of local experts have a passion for hospitality, creating seamless guest experiences for guests. Experience the NFL draft in a vacation home instead of a hotel room. With seamless check-in and check-out procedures and round-the-clock dedicated support, you'll enjoy the convenience of instant online booking at simpleliferentals.com, guaranteeing you a stress-free start to your vacation. simpleliferentals.com.
Civic Media, Wisconsin's source for real news and great conversation, offers podcasts of all of our daily shows online and on demand. Simply go to civicmedia.us, click on daily shows, and choose the podcast that you want to download. Shows are updated daily, or you can save them and listen all at once. Our podcasts are sponsored by UW Organ and Tissue Donation. You are an organ donor, right? Talk to your family. Get the dot. Save lives. Learn more at heroicdeed.com.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin announced Monday that Wisconsin will receive over $101 million to help families lower their home energy costs ahead of the winter season. The funding comes from legislation like the bipartisan infrastructure law. The Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program helps households with their home energy bills by providing payment and energy crisis assistance to pay for gas, electric, and other methods customers use to heat their homes. Funding can also be used to weatherize homes to make them more energy efficient. Individuals interested in applying for the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program can visit energyhelp.us. 49,000 boxes of Kraft mac and cheese were donated by Amcor to Fox Valley Food Pantries Wednesday. Ethan Haas is the board president for the Amcor Foundation. He says more should be done.
We also have to recognize that the impact we're making has to continue. So this is only a start. Scott and Brian would tell you that they have the most amount of demand right now. And during the holiday season, it increases significantly.
Another victory for the Bucks. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Bucks beat the Bulls 122-106 at Fiserv Forum. Giannis Antetokounmpo scored 41 points.
The pace that we're playing with is incredible so far, but we got to keep on going. I think the last maybe 6, 7, 8 games we've been playing good. We could have easily be 5 in a row right now.
The Bucks have now won 4 of their last 5. They host the Pacers tomorrow night. NFL, the Packers worked out getting ready to host the San Francisco 49ers Sunday afternoon. Defensive back Jair Alexander unable to practice. practice due to that knee injury he suffered against the Jaguars 3 weeks ago. The Badgers traveled to Nebraska to take on the Cornhuskers Saturday, both teams with overall records of 5 wins and 5 losses.
With a few weeks left in the season, we don't kind of look at the state of the union and where we're at. We just always look at day to day and how do we continue to push our guys to get better so that your best is on Saturday, and that's where we get into these last few weeks of the season.
That's Badgers head coach Luke Fickell. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
I'm Lisa Hale with WGBW News. Your news in depth. Find it in the news section at WGBW.FM.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Any light rain will come to an end this evening. Cloudy tonight, low in the upper 30s. And mostly cloudy for tomorrow, high mid-40s. For the upcoming weekend, it stays dry and mostly cloudy. A high around 40 on Saturday, mid-40s for Sunday. It's 42 right now.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
From the Lake Shore to Lake Winnebago.
Door to Fond du Lac counties.
Northeast Wisconsin is special for many different reasons. I'm Lisa Hale.
And I'm Terry Barr. Family and fun.
Safe communities and friends. We're featuring all of it as part of New Wisco Weekend, a news magazine show just for you, and highlighting what makes the Fox Valley and Green Bay area a great place to live.
Join us.
New Wisco Weekend, Saturday mornings at 8, Sundays at 11 on WGBW and WISS and the Civic Media app. Todd Albaugh.
Hey, everybody, join us next time for a special edition with Brady Ewing, former Wisconsin Badger, with a Badger Packer preview, and our old friend Peter Rapine with a week.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right.
And now, a guy who writes checks his mouth can't cash, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to hour number 2 of Nite Lite. Great to have you with me on this Thursday night, the Thursday before the biggest Thursday of the year. We're counting down the days here till Thanksgiving. Our question of the night is, what Guinness Book of World Record do you think you'd have a shot at? Given your talents, it is National Guinness Book of World Records Day. What record do you think is within reach? What do you think you could do, given your talents? Conrad says, what did you say?
Curb scratches on my tire.
Yeah, that's pretty specific. I say procrastinating. I know those aren't technically Guinness Book of World Records. Let's find out what our guests say. We have new guests in the studio. These guys are from Comedy City in De Pere. I'm thrilled to have them here. It's Nick Wallen, Scott Rumat, and Nick Hendel. All right. Guys, welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Actually missed a syllable on my name.
I did?
It's Wallander.
Oh, Wallander.
It happens all the time.
You know what? I'm going to blame Conrad. He just started here, and that's a merit point.
Yeah, I just started about a year and a half ago.
I'm sorry about that, Nick. So I think I saw Wallander, but I almost thought I was thinking of the TV show Young Wallander. I'm like, no, it's Wallen. But I was wrong after all. All right, Nick Wallander. Well, it's great to have you guys here. Regardless of names, it's great to have you guys here. So do you guys have something you think would be within reach, Guinness Book of World Record wise? Could you improv something?
Yeah, I could definitely drop as much items as possible. I'm really good at dropping things. I knock things over. I have my cat that takes after me. He knocks things over all the time. I could just easily drop anything.
You make a little money off your cat, that sounds like.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Well, Nick and I recently actually participated in something that is involved in the world Guinness Book of World Records.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love it.
The world's largest ball of paint.
Ball of paint? How does that work?
Well, this guy in Indianapolis, I think it's like 37 years ago, he had a baseball. He painted it, and then he painted it again and again. His son got involved. They decided to make the ball grow as big as they possibly could, and eventually he got the attention of the Guinness Book of World Records, and he lets people just come visit him and paint the ball.
Oh my gosh! So where's your tie-in with that?
Oh, we were going to a festival in Tennessee, Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and we decided we were going to drive and stop at a few places along the way. And we picked that as one of the locations to stop at. We showed up and painted the ball of paint, which was over 10,000 pounds in weight at that point in time.
What?
Yeah. So for a moment, for about 2 hours, we were the ones who got them to the world record because it's progressively getting bigger. It's still the world record winning paintball.
This is like karma, I think. Just the fact that we're doing this question tonight, and you guys are part of a record. So how big is the ball now?
It's huge. I mean, it's as big as
you
take
use
up
your
half this
hands
room.
on the radio. Yeah. It's wider than a car, I would say.
Yeah.
And they just keep it the same spot because it's too heavy to move, I would assume?
Yeah.
Can you roll it?
You could, but it's actually on a harness type thing that was sponsored and paid for by Sherwin-Williams, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
I guess they paid for the rig on it. He's got like a digital scale above it that tells you how much it weighs. And then he writes like the number of layers on the ball right before you paint it. So we were at like 29,000 and some change was the layer number that we did.
You get to pick the gloss or flat paint, or like
You get to pick the color.
You can pick the color.
So we picked green for Green Bay.
Yeah. And weirdly enough, the Indianapolis Star was there snapping pictures for a story that day. So
wow, that was a great trip.
Yeah. So there's some pictures out there if any of you want to go look it up. It's pretty insane.
I believe you. I don't think we need proof. I think it's So this is fun. All right, you guys are part of Comedy City. Tell us a little bit about what Comedy City is and what you guys do.
All right, Comedy City is an improv comedy theater where we take suggestions from the audience and incorporate them into various improv games, little scenes. And depending on the show, sometimes it's a longer scene. So basically, it's an interactive environment where the audience gives us suggestions, and then we create the story on the spot, or we use it in a song or a little gimmicky game that improv people have been doing for years. So basically, it's just something that didn't exist before the audience came in, and they get to be a big part of creating it.
It's really interesting, Nick. When you and I were emailing, you said you might want to ask me what improv is, because a lot of people might not technically know. Like you hear, like when I was a stand-up, I worked at the Improv. People might think it's a building or a whatever, but it is a form. It's an art form. So tell people that might not know, that are listening, exactly what improv is.
All right. So as I described earlier, improv is creating some sort of performance on the spot. And it's usually using suggestions, whether it's from the audience or some other means. Nothing is pre-planned. And the other big part about it is that it's usually team-oriented. You're almost always going to have two or more people working together.
Okay.
And they use a core concept called yes and in improv, which means when something is presented to you, you accept it and you build upon it. You make it better. You add to it. And essentially that's what has been the base of improv for like well over like a century plus, I think, since it's taken hold in America. Yes and is the core concept, and beautiful things get created that nobody knew could exist because everyone decided to accept each other's ideas and take it wherever it went.
And that's the beauty of it. And I love, like, so if you're on stage, like with Scott, and Scott says, hey, you bought a store, you'd say yes. And
yes,
because if you say no, the scene's done.
Yeah, the
it's
scene's
dead.
done. Yeah, and it's counterintuitive because a lot of people think that entertainment, or if you're watching a movie, every scene is based on conflict and people should disagree. Well, conflict isn't always disagreeing, and conflict doesn't have to be between two people. The conflict can come from external sources. So the fun is finding that game within the game. Like, all right, we're on this journey together, but like, what are we working on together? What problem are we going to solve together? And sometimes there's conflict that comes into play, but it's all still based in yes and. You're agreeing that that conflict is legitimate and then adding to the ridiculousness of it.
Yeah, that's so great. And I noticed, if you can hold your arm up for the stream, I saw the tattoo, yes and. This is how serious these guys take their craft. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's a good note so I don't forget.
Just
You know?
in the middle of the scene.
You know?
All right, so tell us a little more about Comedy City. Where are you guys? I think I heard that you've been around almost 40 years.
Yeah.
How did it get started? Give us a little bit of the background, if you would.
Right near here, actually.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. History goes back a little farther. So right now we're in downtown De Pere. We'll get to that later. So Comedy City as an entity started back in 1987, and it was a franchise of Comedy Sports, which is a national chain of improv theaters, which, yes, there's even chains of improv theaters. Milwaukee actually has one still. So we started out in Oshkosh, from what I understand, for about a year, and then they moved closer to Green Bay and ran as a Comedy Sports franchise until about 1999, and then they converted over to Comedy City. They kept some of the same concepts and ideas of team versus team improv. So that's what Comedy Sports is. You had a red team and a blue team, a referee, and it's sort of like whose line is it anyway, but more structured. The points actually mattered to an extent. Somebody did win or lose. So the franchise, I'm sure there was a business decision behind leaving the franchise, but same core concept. It became Comedy City. And then I think about year 2000, Mike Esserkan, the current owner of the troupe, did take over it. So he's been running that since about 2000. And then we've been Comedy City, and then we've gradually changed our format a little bit. We still play a lot of the same smaller short form improv games, but we are less competitive with how we do it.
Okay.
So yeah, that's more or less the history, and we've bounced around. One of our early locations as Comedy City was downtown. Scott, you know more about that.
Yeah, the Subway right there.
The Subway, the sub shop?
Subway sandwich, yeah.
And Washington Street. Yeah. This is Washington Street.
Yeah. It's like a block away. But there's also one when I used to watch improv when I was a kid, back when I was Comedy Sports. We'd come in and middle school, and we'd see them doing their shows, and it was right. I'm not even sure downtown anymore, but it was a bar like just a few blocks away. 21 Steps, I think it was called. It was right near there, and then they moved to where the Subway is now, and then we moved to De Pere.
Yeah, De Pere was probably almost 20 years ago, I would imagine.
Probably,
yeah.
So do you guys only do improv, or do you write sketches too, or is it all pure improv?
Well, the thing about improv is it attracts a wide array of people with various talents. So some of our people do venture into things like writing plays. Like Mike Esserkan, for example, has written many plays and produced them. So he's written books as well. And then there are other people that have tried stand-up. John Egan, a member of our troupe, is a stand-up in the area. He does a lot of shows in Northeast Wisconsin and around the region as well. So we do occasionally do a little sketch work. Not as much as we used to. We do regular sketch shows back in the day. But yeah, we can dabble in it. And in fact, this weekend, there is a special show at the club in conjunction with the Green Bay Fringe Festival. It's a fundraiser for them. It's called a 24-hour theater festival. So on Friday night at about 6 o'clock, the people who agreed to participate will gather at the theater, and then they'll split up into teams. They will have a writer, a director, and people acting. And the writers are going to get a prompt, and they're going to have 24 hours to write a script about 5 to 10 minutes worth of content, and then bring that in the morning. They rehearse it. They basically learn the sketches and the skits, and they perform it on stage 6:30 Saturday night. So
how fun.
Yeah, so stuff like that happens. We don't do just improv there, so we take advantage of opportunities like that to try fun, different things when we get a chance to.
You got to keep it interesting for you guys too, because improv, when you've done it enough, I'm sure you look for ways to make it, so you don't fall into those same, whatever it is your responses are. You have to keep it interesting too, right? So that sounds like a great way to.
Yeah, there's definitely a hill that you're always constantly climbing and trying to be more and do more things.
That's awesome. Okay, so Scott Rumat, got it right. Nick Hendel.
Yep.
And Nick Wallander, not Wallen, are here in the studio from Comedy City in De Pere. When we come back, can we get a little sample of some improv? Maybe?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, fantastic.
Yes, and
the guys are going to perform. Nicely done. The guys are going to perform, and this is a very short break, so they're going to stretch out and get ready, and then we will have live improv here. tonight in the Nite Light Studios. This is Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Black and white, they cruise by. They watch us from the corner of their eye. But there ain't no doubt, they're really down here. We're gonna take what they're having out. When I'm out on the street, I walk the way I wanna walk.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
The Dom Salvia Show.
State Senator-elect Jody Habish-Sinekin, what's the best way, do you think, it is to approach a difference in not just opinion, but in what we perceive as facts with those that may not be aware or don't agree with it?
First, having a conversation. Try to get an understanding of what is really bothering them and try to offer solutions at the state level or at the local level where there can be progress.
The Dom Salvia Show. Weekdays from 4 till 6 on the Civic Media Radio Network and on the Civic Media app. The Todd Alba Show.
Zommers, are you a Netflix and chill guy?
Do you know what Netflix and chill means?
I thought it just meant watch something on Netflix together.
You say that's what you're going to do, but you're really having them over there for sex.
This is why nobody wants to come to my place anymore. I say, hey, you want to come over and have Netflix and chill? People keep saying, well, no, I don't think so. I'll take it back. And I just thought they were being rude.
I do have Netflix, though.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do you do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Fear you may be missing out? We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. Enjoy listening live or catch up by finding the podcast at civicmedia.us or wherever you enjoy listening to your podcasts.
That first time seeing my son, I feel like my life did a 180. He really a definition of like why he loves somebody.
Through all the fatherhood's first, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.com.
Welcome back. Listening or watching on the stream, Craig Knit, who seems to know everybody in Green Bay, says, hey, Nix and Scott.
Yeah.
Nick's
Craig,
plural.
Oh, Craig's been part of the troop for a while.
Oh, has he? Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't perform anymore, so we can scold him for being too busy.
Well, how are you part of the troop if you don't perform?
Oh,
It's
that's
Craig.
a good question.
Does he just boss people around or what? All right.
Yeah, Craig.
He says your suggestion. Okay, we'll get to that. I'll give a suggestion from Craig, folks. If you want to, let's listen to what these guys do and set it up, and then if you want to chime in with a suggestion for what you guys want these guys to do, let me know, and we will we'll feed your suggestion to the pros here. So tell us a little bit about what this game is and what you need from us.
All right. Well, we figured since we were going to be on the radio in front of microphones that we would do a little game that's known as Newscaster.
Okay.
So we're going to do a little fake newscast here, and it's going to be based on probably something we get from either you or Conrad here. And then we're just going to riff a newscast and have that be the breaking news that goes along with it.
I love it. This is Nick Wallander, Nick Hendel, and Scott Rumat here from Comedy City in De Pere. Conrad, do you have a suggestion?
But that's actually, I'll give you a prompt because it's usually easier.
Oh, okay.
Have you encountered something that's inconvenienced you recently and you're like, oh man, why did that just happen?
I think this goes for both of us. A really slow driver.
Yes.
Ooh. All right, let's hear a little bit. We're going to get a little bit of information. All right, where did this happen most recently?
Highway 41.
Highway 41, going to Green Bay?
Heading to Green Bay around Ocano. Heading to Green Bay, someone pulled out right in front of me and went like 30 miles. I almost rear-ended him.
Oh.
Yeah.
And what city were you near when it happened?
Ocano.
Oh, Ocano.
Yeah.
Of course, you just said that. And what kind
it's
of
incorporated.
What kind of vehicle is it?
It was a pickup truck, and like maybe 20 years old, 2005-ish.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we can work with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that worthy of breaking news?
Oh, that's the fun of
Always.
improv. Is
Always.
Yeah. If it was too interesting, it wouldn't be fun to work with. That's
Okay, all right.
what we like to say. All right. Here we go. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to downtown Green Bay at WGBW. This is Comedy City News Night. My name is Chuck Chuckles, and I am your news anchor this evening. Before we get into the breaking news that just came in, we need to remind you that this weekend weather looks like it's going to be great. We'll get a forecast in a moment from our chief meteorologist on that, and the Packers play on Sunday. All right, breaking news just came in. There is an extremely slow driver southbound heading towards Green Bay just outside of Oconto. He is driving a pickup truck, and there is a line of traffic behind them. It has been the talk of Twitter, Facebook, and my great aunt's church group. All right. Actually, we do have somebody on the scene in a Honda Accord. He's our chief news correspondent out on the road. Let's hear from our chief news correspondent.
Hey, Chuck, it's me, Steve. We're just over here on Highway 41. I noticed a car was driving a little slow, so I decided to just do a little jog next to him and try to interview the driver. Excuse me.
Yes.
Steve, WGBW Comedy City News. Why are you going so slow? The sign clearly says 70 miles per hour.
Well, I'm going to the diner. I gotta eat. I at that church service, I just I don't want to be rushed. I'm in this day of this age that I can't be rushed.
I'm sorry. What's your name, sir?
Oh, my name's Tim.
Tim is a lazy driver because he's going to dinner. What? Do you like Disney dinner?
Yes.
Hey, can we find out what is so great about this dinner he's heading to?
Yeah, where are you going?
Well, they have a senior special, 65 plus, $5 for 3 eggs, 2 bacon, 1 toast, and coffee.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
That's a pretty good deal.
$5? Where is this at?
It's at Nancy's Diner. She serves it up hot.
Well, I should hope so, because if they had cold coffee and cold eggs, that's not even worth $5 to me, and I eat eggs every day. Anyways, back to you in the studio. I'll get more information on this diner, and I'll come back to you after I have some bacons.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, so let's move right on over to the sports news for the day. We already know that we have the Packers playing this weekend, but we're also told that just outside of Oconto, there's some other interesting sports going on. So I'm going to throw it over to Jim Ringo, our sports broadcaster.
Thanks you very much. As a big sports guy myself, Packers are obviously in the forefront of my frontal lobe and my thinking. I want to express that I can't wait to see them play the other opposition team that they're going to play tomorrow, Sunday.
Yes, on Sunday.
Sunday. You're gonna play Sunday. But as you were saying, there's other teams that are playing this weekend too. We got the Beavers, local hockey team, ladies hockey team. Go Beavers. We got the Mole Rats, a baseball team that doesn't know that it's not baseball season anymore, right? It's not baseball season anymore.
All right. You know what? That's enough for sports this evening. We'll have a conversation with you after the broadcast. However, we did just get word there's been a development on Highway 41, so we're going to throw it back out to the road right now.
Hey, it's Chuck. Thanks, Chuck. It's Steve again. So it turns out our little advertisement for the diner is causing more people to drive 30 miles an hour on the highway. You, sir, excuse me, you. I'm not going to, roll down the window. Where are you going?
Oh, me? I'm going to the diner.
What's your name, sir?
My name's Craig. I'm really excited for this diner. I heard it's pretty good. I heard on the news he said that's $5 for 3 eggs, 2 bacon, 1 toast, and a cup of coffee too.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal. I like to save a few bucks where I'm from.
Steve, can you ask, is that Craig Knit?
Yeah, he's got a license plate that's hand drawn. Yeah, but it's definitely Craig.
I bet he's trying to film a movie while he's doing this.
I am. Oh.
All right. Well, thank you for that report from the road. We're actually going to switch on over a few gears and let's hear about the weather. Unless we have to
Can we pause weather? That's great. We got to do a quick thing. We got to do news. The guys from Comedy City are here. The Tunics and Scott, and they just did a great newscast. I hope we can pick up with weather when we come back.
Oh, we'll move on to something else.
Or whatever you guys want to do.
We'll go to the real news.
All right, we're hanging out here in the studio with Comedy City, and Civic Media's award-winning news is next, and we'll be back with more improv live here at Night Light with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
We're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW. Enjoying this local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation is reminding drivers to move over and slow down when approaching an active roadside emergency. There have been 60 emergency responders hit and injured by vehicles while working on the side of the road in Wisconsin over the last 5 years. Department of Transportation officials are also reminding residents that moving over and slowing down for emergency vehicles is required by state law. Governor Tony Evers has proclaimed this week as Crash Responder Safety Week. This morning's snow showers caused slippery roads and very windy conditions throughout the area. Will we see more snow this year than we did last? Meteorologist Brittany Merlot reports.
Wisconsin experiences an average of 3 to 6 winter storms during the season. But last season was slow for snow. In fact, tons of businesses suffered with the lack of it, especially in the Northwoods. But things are changing in the weather pattern.
So a weak La Nina tends to be better for that, to keep it snowing that, and frequent systems, the Alberta Clippers, as we say. So a lot of nickel and dime snow opportunities, more frequent cold air intrusions too.
That's Matt Friedline at the National Weather Service. This week is Winter Weather Awareness Week in Wisconsin, and is a reminder to have a plan and prep now for the worst winter weather scenarios. Be one step ahead of the cold and snow this season. I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot.
The Oshkosh Police Department's Vice and Narcotics Unit conducted an undercover human trafficking investigation on the south side of Oshkosh, resulting in the arrest of 5 men ranging in age from 23 to 43. The men were from Appleton, Fond du Lac, and Oshkosh and were charged with pandering. OPD said it can be difficult for human trafficking victims to get out of these situations, so they encourage anyone with information or concerns about the issue to come forward. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. This weekend kicks off the unofficial holiday box office season, and by all accounts, it will not disappoint. Every so often, 2 huge blockbusters are released at the same time. That includes this weekend with the release of Wicked and Gladiator 2. Wicked tells the story of the 2 witches from The Wizard of Oz and is based on the smash Broadway musical. The film stars Ariana Grande and is pulling a 92% fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes and a 99% from audiences. Gladiator 2 is Ridley Scott's follow-up to the 2000 film starring Russell Crowe. The film stars Paul Mescal, Pedro Pascal, Connie Nielsen, and Denzel Washington, whose performance is getting rave reviews from critics. The film is drawing a 75% on Rotten Tomatoes, just a few points lower than its predecessor, but with no audience scores available yet. If you can wait just a few days, you can take the kids to see Moana 2. The follow-up to the wildly successful 2016 film opens the day before Thanksgiving and is also reviewing incredibly well at 95%. Let's go to the movies. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Night Light with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This is your local Civic Media radio station. Want to hear even more? Anytime? Find all of it at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Any light rain will come to an end this evening. Cloudy tonight, low in the upper 30s. And mostly cloudy for tomorrow, high mid-40s. For the upcoming weekend, it stays dry and mostly cloudy. A high around 40 on Saturday, mid-40s for Sunday. Currently 40 degrees.
It's the sound of a soda, considered one of the coolest things made in Wisconsin. Jolly Good has been around since the 1960s. Cryer Foods makes it in Random Lake, which is in Sheboygan County, but Cryer started as a canning company in 1913. What was being canned there? Sauerkraut, peas, beets? The answer coming up.
At Jolly Good, we believe in quality.
Soda turned into an important revenue stream when production at the canning company slowed in the colder months. So what was being canned there? Sauerkraut, peas, beets? All three, plus juice, soups, and more. By the 1960s, Cryer quit canning and went all in on Jolly Good soda.
For flavor and value, Jolly Good's got it.
The latest resurgence of Jolly Good makes it a slice of Wisconsin for yesterday and today. I'm Terry Barr for the Civic Media Radio Network.
On the next New Wisco weekend, what makes you feel thankful?
At the Nite Studios here at WGBW, and it's great to have the guys from Comedy City here. Nick Wallander, Scott Rumat, and Nick Hendel are here tonight. They did some improv for us right before the news. Guys, first of all, do you have any holiday shows coming up? Are there? You guys get more crowded then, or?
Oh yeah, business picks up regardless at the holiday season. But recently, in the last couple of years, we decided like, hey, let's create a couple of holiday themed shows. So we have quite a bit of stuff coming up. And it's crazy the number of shows that we have. And it starts next week, technically, the night before Thanksgiving, Wednesday night. We don't ever do shows on Wednesdays. We tried it last year, and people are looking for stuff to do rather than hang out with their in-laws or talk to their high school friends at a bar. That's the start of it next Wednesday night. And then next weekend, we start one of 4 shows called Snowy Mittens, an improvised holiday romance. It's an improvised take on Hallmark Christmas movies.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's basically it writes itself as we're on stage. Like those movies are all so similar that we get suggestions we basically do a Mad Libs with the audience. And
nice.
And just fill in the blank and create a plot line and play it out. That one's been pretty popular. We have at the theater itself, we have a couple radio plays coming up in the week right before Christmas, and it's 2 nights, and it's if you aren't familiar with radio plays, it's like going back to the 30s and 40s. Actors reading from scripts, and then we have a Foley station where the sound effects are created live. Last year we did A Christmas Story. This year we went a little more contemporary, and it's going to be Die Hard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then later that week we have a tradition that we've done for almost 10 years now, the Comedy Roast of Santa Claus. Don't bring the kids. It's a riot. And then right before Christmas, we have another Snowy Mittens. We have a puppet-based show for the kids where we improvise with puppets. That's been fun. And then there's also the John Brunage Christmas special, which is one of our troupe members, John Brunage. He will tell you that it's a Christmas special featuring him, John Brunage, and leave it at that. But it's more like an improvised take on like the old Dean Martin Christmas specials. And I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting in the mix as well. But check us out at comedycity.net or comedycity.fun. I like saying that version of it because you can get a .fun domain on the internet.
Oh, no kidding.
That's what we got.
That's great.
So yeah, comedycity.fun. You can see the whole lineup there, or check us out on Facebook.
Who are your, like, if you have people that you kind of emulate or that inspired you as improvisers, who would they be? Like Second City or Groundlings or SCTV?
Actually, it's also a local person as well. When I grew up, I watched Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah.
And Joel Hodgson was from
Schwaba.
Yeah. And I watched that, and I'm addicted to that show. So, like, I think a lot of the improvisation that I did when I was younger was just talking back to the TV and just seeing, like, how funny I could be to myself. Right. But then I took that, to Comedy City, and I was like, let's do some jokes now. And I can just boom, boom, boom. Shout
Nice.
out things that I want to say, riffs and all that stuff.
What about you guys?
Yeah, definitely for me, when I was a child, I liked watching like Eddie Murphy and stuff. I liked playing with accents, but a more local hero for me is a guy in our troupe named Garth Zimmerman, or Mr. Zimmerman to me. So in the 6th grade, he was my teacher. He was my 6th grade teacher. After school, he had this improv club that he ran for many, many years, doing games that we play now, that we play in the troupe.
Yeah.
And he was teaching kids improv, because kids and improv go really well together. Kids don't have any, they're not in any boxes,
There's no filter.
There's no filter.
Right.
They have such creativity that they can just spew out, and teaching those skills of like working together was really good. So Mr. Zimmerman, I can't break that.
So funny that you call another guy in your troupe Mr.
Oh yeah, we
just
give
him.
a
Is
hard
this guy
time
like
for it all
70
the
or
time.
something? Like,
he taught me everything I knew. And he actually retired my year, so he never taught any more improv. He's still in the troupe.
Okay.
But then when I was in high school, he asked me to join, and so that's how I started. And so for me, a lot of my improv was from him, because before that, I had no idea what improv was. I had no basis for it. So
that's so cool. What about you, Nick?
I think I have a few different influences. And I mean, going back to being a kid, I was always in a little trouble for, trying to be too funny. And eventually, found a way to use it. But I think this goes all the way back to I was a fan of pro wrestling as a kid. And there are a lot of really popular wrestlers, guys like The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ric Flair, the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Those guys rarely used a script, and they were funny as can be. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like there was a point in time where I'm in like high school, and I'm like, let's do backyard wrestling, and like maybe I'll get in shape and do that one day. Didn't happen. But then you start watching a lot of comedy on TV. In college, I saw a little stand-up. There was an improv group on campus I watched a few times. At that point, I had no idea I wanted to do it. And then when I moved to Green Bay about 17 years ago, I started watching Comedy City shows. And that's where I think I really got inspired. It was like, oh, wow, there are people doing this locally. This isn't like trying to get to L.A. or Chicago or New York. You can do improv anywhere. So auditions were held. So I'd say like the people that I really like looked at and said they're great, I'd like to do this, are people like Mike Estercon, who is our fearless leader, and even Craig Kindit. I'll bring up. He's one of the guys that I would see in shows all the time, and he was brilliant. My friend Jessica Blavitt was a regular performing back in the day, and she was absolutely brilliant as well. So it was just really cool to see that you can do improv anywhere, anyone can do it, and I gave it a shot, auditioned a couple times, and ended up in it, and now I get to be friends with those people.
You didn't say my name.
Yeah. Well, you're here. That'd be weird. You're here.
He doesn't want any of that awkwardness between.
I'll slide you $1.
It's so cool that you guys, and you're right, that this group exists in Green Bay. You don't even have to go to Milwaukee. It's right here, and it's such a great outlet. All right, you guys are going to do something next called Advice Column. Explain what this is to us.
All right, so we're going to get some general suggestions, each of us, that is going to inform the type of character we're going to play.
Okay.
And then at that point, once we get that suggestion, we'll introduce ourselves, and then we'll get ready to field questions from either you, Conrad, or anyone in the audience who might have one on the text, Facebook, wherever.
If people want to text in a suggestion, what kind of stuff do you recommend they text in?
Not like yes or no type questions, open-ended, like
anything they're looking for advice.
Yeah,
from,
like what should I do?
Actual advice.
Yeah, what should I do about
Okay.
my boss who's overbearing, or my dog keeps digging holes.
Okay, that's all right, folks. If you want to get part of the fun here, text in a suggestion for these guys. This is Advice Column, and you can get actual advice for a problem you're having. So let us know. You can call or text. What do you need from us to get started?
Well, we'll each ask a question first, and then we'll get our character set.
Okay.
So for my character, I'm gonna base it off of a dialect, or like a European dialect that you might have, or a regional accent that you might have. So that's what I'm looking for my character.
So you or Conrad, if you got one.
Give you a dialect,
Yeah, a dialect, if you could,
is Northeast Wisconsin too easy? How about Illinois? How about Chicago?
You want Chicago?
Yeah.
I'll try that. I'll try it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll take. How about a hobby that you might think people just spend a lot of time doing?
Bowling.
Bowling.
Nice.
All right.
All right. And then like a group of people from like high school or college, like, oh, it's that group of people at the table.
The Glee Club.
Glee Club. All right. All right. We'll start with Nick and have him introduce himself.
Hey, yeah, I'm a Gary. My name's Gary. I'm from Chicago, the Windy City. You know, I'm proud to be here. I'm real excited to be here. Answer your questions. Get some advice answered. Send your questions my way. You know, I'm here for it.
All right, my name's Dave. I go bowling down at the long range. I got a 297 last week. Not to brag, but it's pretty hard score to get. But you know, I think I might go to the pros eventually. Maybe once I take those bumpers out.
Hey, everybody. My name is Trevor. I am here to dole out all the best advice. La, 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 la.
All right. So it's suggestion time. Okay. Craig Kinnett says, hey, guys, I've got some kids that just can't behave this close to Christmas. What advice would you have?
Well, I think a great idea would be to take all of them to the movie theater and have them see Wicked, but take them to AMC theaters where they said they're not allowed to sing or talk, and let the people at the theater take care of it.
Now, what I like to do is when my children are causing a ruckus, I just take some of the 12-pound balls and have them hold one in each hand. That way they walk around the house carrying that weight, those 24 pounds and all, and it just tuckers them out. They get all tired and sleepy. They don't even have any energy to fight back. They'll just be like, okay, I'll go to bed now.
Nah. I tell him, Santa's not coming around. He's not coming around. And I'll hand deliver the coal to him. I'll give him the coal. I'll tell him, you know, you're a bad kid. You're getting nothing but coal, and you can't even use it. We don't use coal anymore. You can't even use it.
I've got a neighbor who parks in my driveway. What should I do?
Well, what you got to do is make sure that your driveway is so dangerous for him that he cannot park his car, because as soon as he gets out of his car, you just put a whole bunch of wax down and he'll slide and fall. Or if it gets winter time, you just spray your whole driveway down with water. It'll freeze. He'll fall. He'll think twice about parking in your driveway.
You know, I'd say me and you are friends, right? Me and you are friends. Well, I got this cousin of mine. His name's Tony. He runs his own fixer-upper place. He takes away cars when they need to be taken away. You know what I mean? And you give him a call. You give Tony a call. You say Gary sent you, and he'll fix that. He'll get rid of that car for you.
Just the car?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the car.
Well, I think you should challenge him to a sing-off. So you get your best friends, and he'll get his besties, and you just stand on both sides of the driveway, and you just start singing. And if that doesn't work, you should do what they did in Hamilton and just duel it out.
If that doesn't work, maybe just a dance-off or an arm wrestle or something.
Sure, whatever. But definitely some singing should be involved.
It's Nick Wallander, Scott Rumont, and Nick Hendel here doing Advice Column. They're from Comedy City in De Pere. Check out their shows. They have a lot of stuff going on this time of year. Can you guys hang out? We got one more quick break, and then I'd love it if you help me close down the show.
Totally. Totally. Sometimes
stay in character if you want. I want to ask you about your venue when we come back and your theater
sure.
and what that's like, and we'll put a bow on this thing. Thanks so much for being here tonight, guys. Scott and the Knicks will be here, and Craig hopefully will still stick with us here on the stream. This is Pete Schwaba at Nightlight. We are coming right back, and I'll read some more of your texts too.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home of Mino and the Mayor.
The Maggie Dawn Show.
Iron Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, the YouTuber. They're likely, this is just me wildly speculating, might have been a wee bit of a gentleman's agreement. Try to make it look good, but nobody's actually going to try to knock anybody out.
I actually put a bet on that, and I bet it for Jake Paul to win, just because I knew it was staged. Mike Tyson was going to do what he's going to do. Clearly, obvious, he could have knocked him out. He just didn't want to do it.
The Maggie Dawn Show. Weekdays from 2 till 4 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app. The Todd Alba Show.
If you haven't tried mindfulness techniques before, the idea is to take a minute, focus on the present, not the past, not the future. Be here now. You can do it in your car.
Please, not while you're driving.
I was going to say, preferably not driving. Just take a moment and close your eyes and just breathe. Focus like on the breath coming into your body and out.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You are listening to your local Civic Media radio station on air. Thank you. Did you know we are always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app too? And if you miss a show or game, find it wherever you get your podcasts or on our website, civicmedia.us. It's easy to listen to your favorite local radio station anytime. Download the Civic Media app from the Apple or Google Play Store.
Gonna be some sweet sounds coming down on the night shift. I bet you're singing proud.
Tomorrow night on the show, it is a Bar Band Friday night. Terry Barr will be here with some new music, like she is every week, and some great conversation. That's tomorrow night on Nightlight. Tonight, we have the guys from Comedy City here in De Pere, the two Nicks. The two Nicks and Scott. If you guys ever break off, I think that could be a great sketch group name.
We're looking for, we have another Nick in the troupe. We have
No.
3 Nicks, and so we're looking for a 4th Nick to join so we can do a Nick at Night show.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
Knicker Shop Quartet, maybe.
Mhm,
And we'll go to the text line here, too. I want to make sure we get these in steady. Eddie says, Pete, my world record, 1 word or maybe 2. Haagen-Dazs. I heard Haagen-Dazs is just a made-up word or 2. I believe I could eat more Haagen-Dazs coffee ice cream in 1 hour than any other human being now alive. It's very specific, Eddie.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. Oh, wow. All right. It's on. I would be in the Guinness Book of World Records. I would finally be rich and famous, or maybe just fat and ready for a nap. Steady Eddie. P.S. Jim Ringo played center for the Packers in the 1960s. Am I right? He's right, guys? Yeah. Bridget says, from the 818 says, oldest living person. Breaking the record is inspiring me to get really healthy. What is the... Con, can you go to the Google? What's the record for oldest living person? Is it
that's
110 or something
I think
like that?
114. 114 was going to be my guess. Yeah.
Wow.
I feel
Okay.
122.
Oh,
122. Wow. Okay.
That's a whole child away.
I am
from,
22 right now, so that's 100 years.
100 years, yeah.
101 if you want to break it.
I know.
Get ready.
I know.
Get ready.
100, but they haven't been sexually active since they were 41. That's a long time between hay rides, folks. Jameson from Pennsylvania says, see if I'm in time. Totally made up. I breed Chihuahuas with Great Danes. You are a sick man. I breed Chihuahuas with Great Danes, and I can't stop them from making a mess after their special time. Any help?
Well, I think the biggest problem here is that maybe you just shouldn't do that.
I think if you just get some of that spray they put in the shoes, it'll just clean up anything. It'll kill
Bowling
any
shoe spray?
I think it's a very profitable venture. I'd like to discuss this further.
You are a sick man, Jameson. That's Jameson from Pennsylvania. So the guys from Comedy City are here in De Pere. What? Tell us about your venue. You guys got a couple minutes left.
Yeah, our theater is located in historic downtown West De Pere.
Beautiful.
West side of the bridge there. And we have been there, I think, 5 years now in that particular location. It's a very intimate theater. We have capacity for about 70 seats. There's never a bad seat. You see the stage right there. Doors usually open half hour before the shows. We have a bar at the venue, so you can get your drinks, popcorn, candy. So you can make a whole night of it. And we're actually right next door to another bar that's a great place to go after the show, the Porch, if you haven't been there. So downtown De Pere is actually phenomenal for dinner and entertainment if you let it be.
That's great. Do you guys have, when I did stand-up in the 90s, it was never as bad as people said, but every once in a while you get a heckler. Do you have that same problem doing improv? Are there people like that?
And I think they're a different kind of heckler. Usually our hecklers are people who got drunk and really confident. And either they just keep trying to force their suggestions in and everyone's just like, oh my gosh, this is so uncomfortable. Or you ignore them and then they take it personally. So then they try to be louder and even more inappropriate. So usually the way that we deal with them is, direct the attention elsewhere and then they settle down. But in some cases they don't. So you just literally just call them out on it and you make them the joke. And probably like stand-up guys would do as well, make them the joke and they'll decide to be quiet or leave. And every once in a while, that's what someone chooses to do. They're just like, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
I feel like they'd be better, just because there's more of you on stage, whereas a stand-up is up there flying solo.
Yeah.
You guys are probably a little more, not intimidating, but they'd be more hesitant to heckle.
Yeah. It's not often, but it does happen from time to time.
Okay. That's good. Well, one last plug for the holiday shows. Let people know and where they can find out more information and get some tickets.
Check us out at comedycity.fun. We are also Comedy City Theater on Facebook. So much fun stuff coming up. If you like Hallmark movies, we've got Snowy Mittens. This weekend, we've got, for Widows Weekend, we have an all-women show, Hilarious, 8:30 Saturday night. There's so much going on. I'm not even going to list it off. There's something for everyone, including New Year's Eve. We do 3 shows on New Year's Eve. We do simulated countdowns for the family show at 5 and the adult show at 7:30. So if you can't stay up that late, we'll take care of you.
Is there ever nudity?
No.
Okay.
Not yet, unless someone really
Only once, I think. Only once.
Conrad wanted me to ask, so I just thought I would. You guys are great. Thank you so much. It was great having you in the studio. And Jameson checks in and he says, haha, thanks. Just wanted to throw a curveball. Well, your problem was answered there, Jameson. Thank you for the text. Thank you all for the texts and the calls. And thank you guys for being here tonight. This was really fun. And thank you to Yao. That was fun, Conrad.
Yeah, I can't wait to try some of that peanut
The brittle.
butter.
I know. I thought it was like mocklet, and it's totally opposite. It's like a real candy that's real natural.
Nothing can be as bad as mocklet, as Monica says.
Take your word for it. Will you guys come back sometime? This was really fun.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to have you guys back on the show, and you can get up, move around. Is it physical? Do you ever get crazy physical on stage?
Oh yeah,
Is it mostly,
yeah. There are nights where I regret not being more physically fit.
Our previous location had a hole in the wall that one of our performers got a little too excited and he just knocked into it and broke it. And then after they patched it, he broke it again.
Yeah. We will sacrifice our bodies for you if you come see us.
Thus the new venue. All right. Thank you guys for being here. This was great. And it was great to meet you guys. That's Nick Wallander, Nick Kendall, and Scott Rumat. Thanks so much. And thank you to everybody. We'll be back again tomorrow night to do this show on a Friday. A bar band Friday night, and filmmaker Cole Sheldon will be here too. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on behalf of the lovable producer Conrad. Good night, Wisconsin.